How is it going, everybody? Winter Kills here. Welcome to a brand new Locals feature match. Yes, Locals feature match. Now, my Locals has been postponed, like I'm sure most of yours has been as well. But this was actually from a Locals about 2 weeks ago, so my Locals is still not currently going on for those wondering. Just figured I'd bring that up. So here we have in this particular matchup in round 3, the round 2 match had to get scrapped. Because it was a very one-sided 2-0 blowout. And of course, that was my feature match that I was in. I was playing Block B. I did not get the best luck, especially in game 2. So here we are, just fast forward into round 3, where we have sort of a Shaddoll Invoked mirror match. The Shaddoll Invoked player on the left playing a Mech Knight engine, and the Shaddoll Invoked player on the right, a good friend of mine, playing the Artifact engine in his build. It's a bit of an experimental build. I don't think he's no longer playing it. I don't think he's currently playing Shaddoll anymore either. I think he's playing Lunalight. You guys saw him in the Lunalight versus Block BA, duel video, which you guys haven't checked that out. It's post-duel overload MR5. It's a testing match. If you guys haven't seen that, it should be annotated up in the top right for you guys to check out. And also, hopefully at the end of the video, also, if I remember to put it there in the end cards. Shaddoll Artifact, unfortunately not having the best opening, setting one monster and one backdoor and passing, of course, could be worse, I suppose. The T set, the classic T set, oftentimes is revered as being, the worst possible outcome. But sometimes in Shaddolls, especially in an Artifact variant, could be, better than the standard T set because of your flip effect monster. So we're seeing the cross sheet play here, and of course that Trick Clown coming in very clutch to take an additional 1,000, of course, but to get an extra body on board. This could possibly lead to an Abyss Dweller if it is being played in his extra deck. I don't know what his extra deck is, yeah. I do have, I think, 2 more feature matches, or no, 1 more Locals feature match after this. I think it's Pendulum versus Pure Mech Knight. I won't be able to get deck profiles from any of the local feature matches you guys have seen recently because obviously I won't be able to go to Locals to get them. So have that in mind. But as you can see now here, sending off of the Construct, I believe, the Wendy to set Ariel. And we're going to see a Nibiru. That is what we would call a fatty rock coming down. He's going to give him the Ojama Red token. It'll add back 1, of course, off of Construct. It's going to be another copy of El Shaddoll Fusion. Looks like he has 2 copies in his hand. And I believe 2 other Shaddoll monsters. Now, what was basically on its way to becoming a very solid turn for the Shaddoll Invoked mech on the left was basically just cut short by the Nibiru. And our other Shaddoll player now getting started with the flipping of that Hedgehog. So you can see, even if he didn't have Nibiru, and if it wasn't going to be game, who knows what his end board was planning on looking like, at least he was going to get a search off of that Hedgehog of a fusion spell, regardless. So, gonna grab the Shaddoll Fusion. Unfortunately, no extra deck monsters on the other side of the field because of Nibiru, but it is what it is. You'll take the fusion spell where you can get it. It's gonna get him access to Construct, ditching another copy of Nibiru in his hand. Opening up 2 rocks is definitely not the greatest thing. But sometimes the rock wants to be extra active in your hand. Even if you're going first, or even if you see it as your 6th card, which we all know to be the downfall of that card, is seeing it as your 6th. But Construct is sending none other than Shaddoll Dragon, which is going to clear out one of those set cards. It's another one of the El Shaddoll fusions. Opting not to chain because he knows he still has another one set. And then Foolish Burial being played to dump that copy of Wendy to the graveyard, and that is going to summon out the Shaddoll Beast. So getting some resource, management ready for next turn. Getting that advantage steadily to his hand, securing that through the Wendy. Battle phase, we'll see Nibiru run over the defense position, Construct run over the defense position token and destroy it with its own effect, and then Nibiru attempting to attack the set Ariel. And he's going to chain the other copy of El Shaddoll Fusion that he had set to send away a beast in the Ariel. And he's going to banish all 3 remaining Shaddoll monsters in the opponent's graveyard, and then resolve the beast effect to pick up a copy of Shaddoll Fusion. So that's a really good card to have there. And he ended up fusing into Winda, which I mean is like the next best thing, I guess, to go into. I would have probably gone into an App Cologne. because like at the start of your turn, you can at least link it away and go for, you know, an extra search off of its effect. Sure, Winda does slow him down for the rest of the turn, but he's not even going to opt to go into the battle, like continue into the battle phase to run it over, because it'll give him back an additional fusion spell. I believe a Shaddoll fusion in the graveyard. But during the start of his turn, Artifact Sanctum being flipped face up for none other than Artifact Scythe, and that's going to pretty much make him set one monster, which we know to be a dragon. And that's might do it for his turn, and it actually will. Battle phase will still attack the set beast and discards a moral attack. Very unfortunate that he had to draw into that moral attack, because I believe he does have another copy of Artifact Sanctum set, which he will not be able to use for the remainder of the duel, since I believe all of his artifact targets are out of the deck, playing one moral attack and one Scythe. Of course, if you're going to play an artifact engine in a deck like this, I feel like it's okay to play a bit more artifacts than just the one Scythe, because that moral attack, not only is it light, but it can come in clutch to provide some great removal that we know it can do. So now in the battle phase here, Nibiru running over the Winda, and then the Scythe attempting to run over the set. It's going to bounce back the construct since it was a dragon. So basically removing the construct from the field, though. Interesting choice, because you do have Shaddoll Fusion in your hand. I figured maybe you'd want to bounce something else back to the hand. Obviously, you don't want to bounce back the Nibiru. Maybe just not even opt to use the effect at all, and then you just leave them with an extra deck monster on their side of the field, and you basically get your free Shaddoll Fusion. But I guess there's some reasons to get it off the board, because it won't be able to use its add back effect since it's not hitting the graveyard and things like that. But getting started with Meltdown into Alistair, and what's crazy is these past two turns or so, our Shaddoll player on the left here has managed to get some insane draws. First off the Beast, and then off of his like draw for turn, the last turn that got shut down by the Scythe. He had an amazing draw for that turn, and then continuing to draw really, really well for this turn also, no exception. You know, Meltdown into Alistair, and picking up Invocations and Shaddoll Fusions. It's just really, really good draws. It's unfortunate our other Shaddoll player was not able to capitalize as much, you know, just due to like lack of having, you know, the necessary resources to push for game. Not drawing too well off of the Beast of his own. But we're going to go into the battle phase here now, and Mechaba is going to swing over that Artifact Scythe for 300. And I believe that might do it for his turn. Checking the back row here, but end phase actually we're going to see the Resh Shaddoll Reincarnation to reset Beast. You kind of got to do that because you just need to dig for more resources, but you know at this point that Mechaba is live with a monster negation. You saw him add back an Alistair. If you are the Artifact Shaddoll player, you know this. But of course, we all know that he has two monsters in hand. I believe it's double Alistair. So you still can keep the battle phase protection and still have a monster left over to negate. But we're going to see an interesting play here. Normal summoning Beast by tributing Nibiru. And we see he has an Apprentice Illusion Magician within his hand. Basically, you can pitch that over any spellcaster monster to make it gain 2,000 attack. That's going to boost that Beast up to 4,200. And that's in the damage calc, so he does have the opportunity though to respond here in damage calc with the Alistairs in hand. But he'll have to pitch both of them in order for it to not get beaten over, because that is a 4,200 beast. I believe they had a judge ruling right now. That's why there's a little bit of discussion regarding the Apprentice Illusion Magician. Because I believe it does happen in damage calculation, the way that Apprentice Illusion Magician is worded, at least when I looked at it earlier. Just want to double check whether or not, you know, he'd be able to respond with the double Alistair, which he would be able to. So chaining both of them, it's going to boost that Mechaba up to 45, and it'll take 300 as a result. And unfortunately, he's just going to end his turn not there now. He could have flipped up that Beast to try to draw in some more resources, but you know, as the other Shaddoll artifact player, you don't really know if he has another monster in his hand, so you don't want to like walk right into that walking negation. Even though he just had to discard two Alistairs, you still don't know the rest of the cards in the hand. You know, picking up a purple Nightfall for turn here is just insane. He'll summon that out, no problem. He'll go into the battle phase and attack over that set Beast. I'm just going to flip up, picking up a copy of Beast and an Invocation. All three Beasts currently in the graveyard right now, just not having the best draws off of the Shaddoll Beast, which is very unfortunate. He'll swing in for 25 and end his turn there. Obviously, Almirage won't be doing any swing at 0 attack. Starting off, though, with a good top deck for his own this time around. For his own Alistair. And we're going to see purple chain in response for blue sky. That's going to do one of two things. It's also going to allow him, you know, to have that purple coming back for reoccurring advantage next turn, but it's also going to simultaneously put a monster in his hand, which he does not have, to fuel a monster negate for Mechaba. We know he also has a spell, and he's going to burn the spell negation there since our opponent does not have Meltdown on the board. And he's going to negate the invocation. Little does he know he has another copy of invocation, which he's able to activate. So just ditching out that El Shaddoll, seemingly for no effect, since invocation is not a once per turn. Not a hard once per turn, anyways. I mean, it's just not a once per turn, period. The graveyard effect is, though, however, to recycle the Alistair, or the invocation, and put the Alistair back to the hand. Shaddoll artifact player entering battle phase, attempting to run over Almirage. Will chain the effect and not want to crash Mechabas, instead just going to pass there. So heading into this next turn, something pretty funny happens here. Our Invoked Mech Knight player forgets to bring back his purple, so his opponent has to do it for him. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember your mandatory effects. Our Shaddoll artifact player, though, at one point was in a very good position. We saw with the artifact scythe, the Nibiru, and the construct on board. It looked like at that point he was in a very commanding position, but the tide has sort of turned. Just basically not having enough, you know, pressure to push for game, just by not seeing optimal extenders off of his draws, just really slowing him down. And our other player here really seeing the best draws, essentially. Now resolving Shaddoll Fusion from deck, going for Apgalone. That's going to target the Mechaba, and that's just going to be game one right then and there. And as we head into game two, I want to mention a quick shout out to our sponsor at Imperium Duelist, provider of some amazing two-player cloth playmats, sleeves, dice, calculator cases, deck boxes, things like that. Check them out down in the description below. A link to their website and a discount code you can use to save 10% off your entire order. Winner kills 10 off. And of course, if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please feel free to use my affiliate link to them down in the description below. It's the first link. If you guys use that link and buy anything using that link, you'll help support the channel at no cost to you guys. Simply using it, checking out with it, I will receive a small bit of kickback, and it will go a long way to help support me and what I'm doing. So a couple options down below to support the channel. But now, both players ready here to go in game two. And Shaddoll Mech Knight player being made go first, and really nothing he can do, so he's just going to pass. And with no plays to be made. No monsters to be set, no cards to be set, period. And just going to hand it over to our Shaddoll Invoked player. Or our Shaddoll Invoked Artifact player, I should say. And since they're both technically Shaddoll Invoked players, but each opting to tech an engine of their own that is unique. One being Artifact, the other being the Mech Knight engine. We're going to see Apgalone come down through the use of that invocation. So invocation being a very, very good starter here. Sending off a Wendy and a Hedgehog. I believe Wendy setting what looks to be Beast. And Hedgehog adding Beast. And then we're going to see the normal summon of Alistair. So already off to a much better start here. And I believe my friend is also playing on the right there, Magician's Souls within the main deck. So that is why you saw that Apprentice Illusion Magician in the main deck, because that is basically your target for Magician's Souls, for those wondering. That might do some explaining as to why he's opting to play that card in the first place. Now we're going to see a Link into Cross Sheep. And we're going to see Apgalone activate its effect, since it did hit the graveyard, to be able to add a Shaddoll card and discard a card as a result. It'll discard Beast, and that'll allow him to dig one card deeper into the deck. Trying to find Sanctum, trying to find Magician's Souls. Just trying to dig as much as possible to get to those powerful artifact cards that he's opting to play within his main deck. Because, you know, an artifact scythe at this point would just be devastating. So he didn't actually set Beast off of Wendy, but sent Squamata. Now we're going to see him fusion for Winda. So everybody's getting one at this point. One special summon. And the Hedgehog, or not the Hedgehog, rather the Squamata, sending Resh Shaddoll Reincarnation to the graveyard. And I believe fused away with a Dragon. Of course, Dragon will not have the opportunity to activate its effect, since I don't believe there are any targets on the field. At this point, he does have Invocation in hand with Alistair engraved and plenty of Dark Monsters. So we could very easily see this classic Winda Caliga setup. But first, he's going to go into the battle phase, his priority here. Get some damage in first. Swing for 22 and 7. Dropping him down to 51. And then we're going to see the Invocation here follow up in main phase 2. And that is going to go for Caliga here. Now, he could have technically attacked with the Caliga, but you're not going to leave your Caliga in attack position because of how little attack it has in the first place. Now, it looks like he's going to try to drop Nibiru, but unaware that you can't actually resolve Nibiru while Winda is on the field. Making that card pretty much useless at this point. And if he had an opportunity before Winda hit the board, that would have been the time to do it, but I don't even think he would ever had the opportunity to even get that far. But basically now, only having the opportunity to have one special summon and one monster effect, it is going to be a pretty rough turn for our Shaddoll Mech Knight Invoked player. Now, having a Mech Knight for this would be pretty nice, especially a Purple Nightfall. Purple Nightfall can really try to force out the Alistair over that Mechaba, or that Winda rather. But he definitely does have the Alistair, so it won't really do too much other than force out the Alistair. And then at that point, you've used your one special summon and your one attack. And we're going to see Invocation be played here now. Banishing Alistair. And looking to the opponent's graveyard for any, possible fusion material. Instead, going to use the dead Nibiru in hand to fuse for a Mechaba. And there's his one special summon. He's already resolved his one monster effect, which was the Alistair. Now putting back Invocation into the deck and following suit, Alistair going back to the hand. So at this point, he can go to the battle phase and attempt to run over either the Caliga or the Winda, but he knows Alistair and the Invoker is in the hand. So that will result basically in him losing that trade, hands down, because he'll need those cards to basically, he'll need that Alistair now, which he can't even technically negate the Alistair because he's already used his monster effect. So wouldn't even have the opportunity to negate the Alistair discard effect if he wanted to. So instead, he's just going to go to the battle phase and run over the Cross Sheep, which is basically the only unprotected monster on the board currently. And passing over to our Shaddoll artifact player, he's going to start by setting one, and then following up by immediately banishing Apgalone and Resh Shaddoll Incarnation, flipping up that set beast that he had just basically used his normal summon on, flipping that up to go ahead and grab a copy of Shaddoll Fusion, which is live to fuse from deck. But at this point, he's already used his one monster effect, and looks like he's going to use his one, well, not even one special summon anymore, but going to link all three of those away into the Blackluster Soldier of Chaos Link. Since he did not use a level 7 or higher, it can be targeted and it can be destroyed by card effects, but not too big of a deal. You're getting a big 3k body on the board, which can do a whole hell of a lot in of its own right if it destroys something by battle. And our Shaddoll Invoke player on the other side going to use the spell negation here from Mechaba to negate an El Shaddoll Fusion, despite him knowing that he had just added Shaddoll Fusion. So he'll follow up swiftly by, going for Shaddoll Fusion and fusing from deck, which is going to go uninterrupted. And we can see a Retaliating Sea within his main deck. So side deck cards are in. Fortunately, has not seen any. It might be a Super Poly within the main deck as well as part of the sideboard. And we're going to see Wendy set an Ariel from the deck. And I believe now at this point, still resolving Construct's effect to be able to send one more. It looks like he'll send Squamata to send El Shaddoll. And our Shaddoll Mech Knight player just going to scoop right there, seeing the writing on the wall, and we're going to head into game 3. And this is a long match. I believe this match did really go the 40-minute distance. So I hope you guys are enjoying this match so far. And if you are, please leave a like. Share it with a friend, possibly. These videos do take quite a long time to make. And I do try to put as much effort into them as I possibly can. So a like and a share, dropping a comment would all be greatly appreciated. So yeah, continuing forward, going to start with fusing for Winda, thanks to Invocation. Invocation, of course, we know this, but proving to be a fantastic fusion spell to mesh with the Shaddoll archetype, simply giving you more chances to see fusion spells to be able to trigger off some key effects. And he's going to follow up, of course, with the Alistair, then follow up with Purple Nightfall, and then banishing, of course, to go ahead and probably going to grab Blue Sky. Now, there is, just speaking of Mech Knights and Shaddolls, there is a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with instant fusion in Mech Knights. Just by special summoning Mech Knight and then instant fusing for Winda, and then linking those off, per se, into a Morningstar and grabbing secrets, and basically allowing you to revive that Winda during your opponent's turn with secrets. And then having all the other Mech Knight shenanigans on top of that. Pretty cool synergy to be had there. But not so cool turn for our other Shaddoll artifact player. Setting 2 and passing. Purple coming back in the standby phase. But we're going to see an artifact Sanctum to slow his turn down just a bit, which he's definitely going to need with the subpar hand he has seemed to open. So one special summon to be had here, and no extra deck access for the turn. So he's going to set one card in the same column as that Sanctum and special summon Blue Sky to search another copy of Purple. Battle phase Alistair running over the Scythe. Blue attempting to run over the set. It's going to be a Hedgehog. And he'll grab a Shaddoll Fusion off of that. Hands down. And then I believe Purple and Winda swinging in for 25 and 22 respectively. And that's really going to be all he can do that turn, since he has burned his one special summon. He's locked out of linking into anything. So he's going to end his turn there. So Artifact Scythe doing a good job there at slowing down what could have been a possible OTK on behalf of our Shaddoll Mech Knight player. Now starting off with that Shaddoll Fusion, we know he's Search, dumping Nibiru. So the point won't serve too much of a purpose at this point. Sending Nibiru and Dragon for none other than the El Shaddoll Construct. Chain 2, Dragon, Chainlink 1, Construct. Dragon popping a set backer, which ends up being a set Invocation. And I believe we know the other set card as well to be another set Invocation. There's just plenty of Invocations around to go through. And it looks like our Shaddoll artifact player has Nibiru in hand as well, which is extremely unfortunate. Card is going to be very, very dead as long as that Winda remains on the field. And he's going to go to the battle phase. Construct is going to attempt to hit over Purple. He'll chain the effect to banish the Search. It's going to be Indigo, and he's going to redeclare and continue to attack over Alistair for 18. 62 to 33 right now. Time probably being very, very close to being called at this point. Can't even speak English. Passing it back over to our Shaddoll Mech Knight player, starting with Alistair. As you would, searching out another copy of Invocation, setting it, and special summoning Purple Nightfall. And also being reminded again to bring back his Purple. Man, gotta remember those purples, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot forget that card. So yeah, battle phase, attacking a set Squamata. It'll pop one of the Purple Nightfalls and end his turn there, since there's really nothing on his field he can do to get rid of this construct. And I believe time is just about to be called, and there's nothing he can do to be able to push for game. So he's going to scoop there, not being able to do enough damage. 62 to 33, just 2,900 life points short. He could attack over the Alistair, of course, for an additional 18, but it's not going to be enough at the end of the day. So unfortunately, he'll lose there in time. And Shaddoll Mech Knight Invoked coming out on top this time around over Shaddoll Artifacts. So yeah, that's going to do it for this rather long feature match. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And of course, I want to give a shout out at this point to my Tier 3 YouTube members, our divine level supporters here on this channel. Travis Harris, Academic Thick, and Ty. Special thanks to you guys, of course, for going the extra mile to help support the channel, to help make videos like these possible, and help keep this channel going as a whole. So thank you guys so much for that. And if you guys want to get on some amazing perks and rewards, such as behind the scenes on videos, mail day posts, exclusive posts in the community tab to just YouTube members, click that join button below for more information. Would love to have more people become a part of the member community. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.